First things first, rest in peace to Mac Miller. I'm shooting this video with all due respect to Mac and his family. In this video, I'll be discussing the criminal liability for the death of Mac Miller. My name is Jamahl Kersey and I'm a criminal defense attorney in San Diego, California. Before we move forward, make sure you like this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you get something out of it, please make sure you share it with a friend. Let's get into it. On the morning of September 7th, 2018, Mac Miller was found dead in his Studio City home. The autopsy and toxicology report from the LA County Medical Examiner indicate that Mac Miller died from mixed drug toxicity involving fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol. Normally, when a person dies from a drug overdose, there really isn't much of an investigation beyond an autopsy. The cause of death is determined and the case ends there. But this situation is exceptional for two reasons: Mac Miller's fame and fentanyl being such a huge problem right now. So after Miller died, a much deeper investigation ensued. In the early morning hours of September 5th, 2018, Pettit delivered counterfeit oxycodone pills to Mac Miller. Text messages established that Mac Miller had reached out to Pettit hours before looking for pills, and Pettit agreed to deliver them. The problem is the counterfeit oxy contained fentanyl. If you didn't already know, fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. It's similar to morphine, but it's 50 times more potent. It's used to treat severe pain. These days, we have drug dealers mixing drugs such as heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine with fentanyl. And this is because with fentanyl, it takes very little product to produce a strong high, and therefore it's a cheaper option to increase profits. However, given its potency, if you take too much of it, it can be deadly, and even more so when it's mixed with other drugs or alcohol. Based on text messages from Mac Miller's phone, he had bought drugs from Pettit on previous occasions. On September 4th, 2019, almost a year after Mac Miller died, Pettit was arrested. Next month, Pettit is headed to trial. He, along with two of his associates, have been charged with conspiring to distribute controlled substances and with distribution of fentanyl. What makes this case much more serious than your run-of-the-mill drug trafficking case is that the feds are alleging that Mac Miller's death resulted from his taking of the pills provided by Pettit. In other words, the government is stating Pettit is criminally responsible for Mac Miller's death. Normally, when you think of someone being responsible for another's death, you think of homicide charges such as murder or manslaughter, but here we don't have an intentional killing such as shooting someone or beating them to death. Rather, Pettit supplied the drugs that led to Miller's death. News reports of Mac Miller's death began circulating on the afternoon of September 7th, 2018. That night, Pettit used his Instagram account to DM a friend saying, "Most likely I'll die in jail. I'm gonna get off the grid, move to another country," and this suggested he'd leave to escape prosecution. He even asked, "What should my name be?" And this suggests that he would assume a new identity. The feds allege that these messages, especially the ones reflecting Pettit's belief that he might face a lot of time in jail, support the position that Pettit was the one who provided the pills that led to Miller's death. These texts are basically admissions of guilt. The government further alleges that Pettit and his associates continued to sell drugs even after Miller's death, with full knowledge of the risk their products pose to human life. One of the worst parts of this story is the deception involved. It appears Mac Miller had no reason whatsoever to believe he was taking fentanyl. He never asked for fentanyl, and Pettit obviously didn't tell Miller the oxy was counterfeit and laced with fentanyl. It could be said that if it weren't for Pettit selling Miller the fentanyl-laced pills, Miller would still be alive today. If Pettit is convicted, he faces a mandatory minimum sentence of 20 years in federal prison and a potential sentence of life without parole. So what are your thoughts? Should Pettit and his associates be held criminally responsible for Miller's death? How do you see the jury deciding this case? Once again, rest in peace to Mac Miller. You may be gone from this earth, but you live on through your music. Hey, I want to thank you so much for checking out this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, peace.